Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. And Mark, we're going to talk
Lyle,
about some stuff tonight.
all I know is I'm in a good mood. You know why?
Why?
I went fishing today.
Good for you. And you caught some fish.
Oh, there's a few, nothing to write home about or post pictures of, but at least I got out there. Still trying to break in that yeah, we can talk about this, and I think you're going to like what I have to say about it. You know the
Okay.
the LS word. You know that dirty word that you don't like to hear a lot about sometimes from me.
Yeah. It's not that I don't like to hear about it. It's just
From
that it's
well, I mean,
overused.
we'll get to it. What do you say? We say hello to everybody in chat.
That works.
What's up, everybody? Speak up if you haven't yet in chat, and I'll be able to holler out at you because I love doing that. It's what I live for. There's channel member and supporter, Adventures with Robin C. What's going on, Robin? Crappie de Fishon, he's also a channel supporter. How you doing? Creole Catfishing, what's up, Jeremy? Dan Thompson, channel supporter. How you doing, Dan? Thank you for your support. Danny Thompson out. Danny Stone. Danny Thompson. I got this Danny Thompson Cigar Company on the brain. Sorry, Lyle. Danny Stone Outdoors. How's going on, Danny? People are coming in here. Let me start back up the top. AJH in the house, avid fisherman. The great Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Down to Double Hook Angling channel supporter. Thank you, David. David was in the on the news in his local area the other day. I checked that out. I thought that was real cool. Way to go, David. Halana's Catfish Adventures, what's up? Hey, there's It's All Mine. Michelle, how you doing? Joe Buck 66 channel supporter. Keith Dubas Outdoors. Lance McCouguy in the house. Living MN Outdoors, how you doing? Look Lady in the house. There's the birthday boy, Josh over at the Weekend Angler. I don't think that Chad remembered it was Josh's birthday. I might have missed it, but I don't think he did.
He probably didn't. He don't care about his brother.
He doesn't. Not one bit. Tim Molina, what's up, Tim? There's Aaron from up in the Aaron Outdoors. The great Uptown Chrissy Brown. There's Wabash Nate. There's Matt Want to Be Outdoors. Gonna go through the list real quick. Carmel Muncie in the house. What's up, Carmel? It's Carmel, not Carmel. We were corrected on that a couple of like last week or the week before last. I think I got everybody who's speaking up in chat. If you haven't yet, please give us a thumbs up.
I'm going to tell Creole that he has permission if Josh makes any more of them dirty comments to go ahead and put him in timeout.
Did Josh make a dirty comment? I haven't. Hold on a second.
He said something ridiculous. Troy, Real and Virtual Outdoor says, I've got live scopes for 80 cents. Hey, anti-jig.
What's going on, Troy? How you doing? Because you
great.
spent all your money on that video game. There's Brad over at Tidal Weights and Sinkers. There's Nina's kayak crew. How you doing, Nina? People are popping in here.
That's great, man.
You know, it's a long ways to come over here from the bait shop.
It is. It is. Mm-hmm. And you might learn something here.
I don't know about tonight.
Yeah, tonight might work out. That's right, Creole. You're 100% correct. But it is Josh's birthday, and we want to wish him a happy birthday. That's Tara.
Hi, Tara. Did I say it right today?
Yep.
Lyle?
Okay. Yep. Sure enough.
I know a few Taras and Taras, and they always get them mixed up.
But they're spelled the same.
I get in trouble, so as long as I get my wife's name right, we're good.
I'm thinking you're right about that. Dale Hayslip.
Dale, what's up, bud? So back to fishing today. It was 30 degrees when I got on the water, Lyle.
Wow.
Might as well have been ice on the water. I had 20-mile-an-hour winds. It was pretty cold. Couldn't get my heater lit up again. But we got out there. There's James Dockery. What did it say? James says, it doesn't matter if the fish are big or small. Post the pictures. If you're not just saying you caught fish, not showing, you did. I'll send you a video. I'll send him. I already sent it over to Betty Jean. So, Betty, if you're listening, send that to Doctor. Where was I? Yeah, it was cold, Lyle.
Oh,
But
but
yeah, I use it to tweak that live scope again. And what I learned using it today, it kind of takes the fun out of fishing, and I wasn't even catching a bunch of fish.
well,
Speaking from the heart, because you spend all day looking down at a screen rather than looking out at the water.
well, yeah, I can see that. Um, I just, I think that any tournament angler that is going to be, especially panfish or crappie or anything like that, that's going to be competitive in traditional tournaments is going to have one to be successful because you can, from what you told me the other day, you can actually pick out the larger fish and work them till you catch them or they leave, whichever the
Well,
case may be. So if that's in fact the case, and say you're on a school of 500 fish, all you got to do is look through that school and find the big ones and aggravate them until they bite.
I found a lot of bait today, Lyle. A ton of shad. I've never
See,
seen
right
a
there would be enough reason for a lot of people to own one.
30 feet deep, though, in the deepest hole in the lake I was fishing. But there was a cloud of them that was huge. And the reason I could tell there was bait is I turned the grid view on it. And that grid view, I got it down to 1 foot by 1 foot. And, when three of them fit across there, pretty much they're bait fish when there's that
Yeah,
many.
yeah.
So all small shad, I'm guessing. But I've never seen that many never realized how many there were at this one spot. I kind of fished the bottom and the top of those and with no luck. But then I moved on to some brush piles that I was coming across. I did a lot of exploring today, so I'd lie if I said I fished, hardcore for 4 hours straight. I kind of tooled around the lake and made a bunch of waypoints to come back to in the summer because that's more of a summer lake. At least I've had my best luck over there during the summer. So I picked up a couple of tens and a bunch of like dink 6 and 7 inchers. So
The the thing that I'm curious about with any of the live scope models, no matter what the brand is, do they pick out the structure like down imaging does and break limbs down to limb by limb by limb?
Once you start tweaking the settings, absolutely. And you can see not only see it like in a flat image, you can see depth just by turning that transducer from side to side. So you can see like which limb is in front of the other and stuff. You can see if you're bouncing your jig off of those limbs and such. Where on down imaging, it's a static image. You can't really see it that
Yeah,
well.
see, that's one thing I wouldn't have. It'd have to be on my trolling motor. I would not sit there and dick around with some kind of
Well, if
mealy
you're
mouth
fishing,
thing like that.
if you're fishing on still water or you're fishing in the wind, you're going to be turning that trolling motor regardless.
Right, the trolling motor. I got that, but not some
Well, I just put the trolling
nasty.
motor on spot lock and just adjust the pole mount, which is fairly simple to keep it on target and keep it on my jig. So
I what was Steve Collander's channel name? That caught
Steve,
all them
well, the
crappie.
old fisherman, isn't
The
it?
old fisherman. I haven't seen any of his stuff in a long time.
I watched a video of his like just recently, a little while
Well,
ago.
I
He was
haven't
down.
seen one, so I don't know whether something's happened
No,
for
he's still around. Actually,
okay.
he's making longer videos. They're pretty close to an hour, if I remember correctly
I
now.
remember when he first somebody give him a live scope, and he the first day that he had it on, he said, "I'm going to play with this for a little bit and see if I like it." He said, "I fully anticipate taking it off the boat." He said, "I have zero confidence that I'm going to enjoy this." Well, it never come off the boat, and the more he used it, the more he enjoyed it, and of course he got better with it. But that first day, he wasn't very happy with it, but he didn't understand it either.
Well, maybe that's what I'm going through now. I kind of am understanding it each time. This is like the third time I've had it out, so I'm kind of understanding it a little better on how to get it the picture sharper and clearer.
Well, that'll
Um,
help.
and I'm able to do a little scouting, on the move with it, that's made a big difference because you can see that those brush piles or fish in front of you and not have to put the brakes on and turn around and try to find it again.
Now, a lot of times fishing small fish, I'll use a. Hang on a second. I got a heating pad here. I just broke down. I got to move it back up. Um, when you're fishing in brush piles or marking a bunch of fish like that, um, a lot of times I'll take a buoy marker and toss it out so I know where that pile is at. Do you do that with live scope or not?
Yeah, come again. I was reading something in chat here. I apologize.
That's all right. Um, I use buoy markers.
That's how I've always done it.
Do you still do that?
I haven't yet, but I can. You know what? After what I figured out today, I probably will. I'll use the live scope to find those brush piles and mark the front and the back of them. And or if I got guests in the boat, I don't have a boat big enough where you can both be on the bow, so mark them brush piles and just fish them. Tell them how deep the fish are and how deep they are, and just bounce some jigs off of that brush. Hopefully, you don't get caught up.
AJH, haven't heard of anyone talk about it, but I bet there are people using live scope to snag fish. I'm guessing you're probably right.
Speaking of that, and James Aki says they do for spoonbill because Stu over at Total Angling Experience, is that his channel? I know
Yes,
his main channel is Coon Creek Outdoors,
right.
but he's done a couple of videos where he used it to snag spoonbills, but it took him like all day to do it.
Really?
He even mentioned that in his video. He says, this is, I've been trying for however many hours, he said at the time. It was a video last year. So, I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it would be. But then again, I don't snag for them nasty old boobies. Anyhow, too much work for not enough return, and they're not that great to eat. They're edible. They're kind of like everything else. They're edible, but they're not that good.
I've never
A
fished
lot of
for.
people love them. They're just they're strong. They're strong tasting. Um, they have that cool piece of gristle down their back. It looks like a baseball bat when you pull it out.
Yeah,
They're
it's like a big
prehistoric
cord.
fish. They're very interesting, but I'm just not interested in eating them. And the only time that I ever went was with a guy that sat there with 1 pound weight on the big treble hook, sitting there jerking that thing all day. And I said, "That's enough of that crap for me. I ain't doing that no more." Uh,
Well, I've
and
seen some videos where they've actually used like dipsy divers with
yep,
snagging hooks, and they
that's the new
snag them that
way
way.
of that's the new way of doing it. And the other thing about it is, um, they're prehistoric, and that's a really cool thing. But um, so the guys that like doing that, most of them like doing tournaments and stuff. People do them a lot. The sad part about snagging spoonbills is they're getting ready to lay eggs. So a
Mhm.
lot of these people are doing that. They take the egg roe out of them and throw the whole fish away, and there's something wrong about that. If you get caught doing it in the state of Missouri, you're in a bunch of trouble. But it happens all the time. And the other thing I don't like about it is every boat ramp that you go to right now that where there's spoonbill in it, they clean them and leave the carcasses lay all over the
You,
boat ramp and up and down the
you're
side.
supposed to not leave with. You're supposed to clean
Well,
them at the boat ramp, but you're obviously supposed to dispose of the waste properly.
nobody does that, and the rest of
Yeah.
us have to smell that crap from now on. And it's my understanding is some of the greatest uh, fish bait for catfish that you can use, but it's illegal if you get caught doing it. Well, with all of it laying around in boat ramps, how many people are not trying it?
Yeah.
But you never hear of anybody getting caught. Just like the over the slots and in the slots and overfish, you never hear of anybody getting tickets for that, and you know they're doing it every day. Well, I know they
People get caught from time to time, and that's enough to get them never to do it again. Because usually those fines are pretty steep. So
not in Missouri. It's a
really,
little slap on the hand, and no, you shouldn't do that. And yeah, it needs to be more substantial in my mind. That's just me.
Creole says I just make a mark on the side of my boat with a Sharpie. That way I don't lose my spot. What's going on, Bugman? How you doing? There's Outdoors Addiction. What's up, Jesse? Obviously, Laura the Explorer joined us. James Dockery, if I didn't say hello, I'm saying hello again. I'm still young enough to remember where they bed and what? I'm still young enough to remember where they bed. Are no need to make them. Okay.
Is that a? I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, we're not going to say. It's legal to snag spoonbills. I'm talking nefarious characters. We don't know any nefarious characters.
That's the only way you can really catch them. Now I have had guys catch them in the mouth. I've seen them caught in the mouth, but they're still snagged. They don't eat anything that you use for bait. They're like
Yeah, they're filter feeders.
right.
Yeah,
So
Tara Lindsay says they taste like a gamey pork chop.
a gamey pork chop would probably be an overstatement.
And Ray Smith, thanks for being a member for 1 month. We appreciate you.
Hey
Welcome in.
Ray, how you doing, my friend?
Mm.
But yeah, they're just a lot of people eat them. I think it's out of desperation more than anything. They caught it and they think they need to. Um, but if you put enough seasoning on anything, you can put it on a turd and then make it edible, I guess. But
I don't know about all
I'm
that.
just saying, you can make anything taste better than it naturally is. But I
Some
know
things need more help than others. Let's put it that way.
that's right, like drum and gar.
We need to have a talk about that drum. I might have an idea, Lyle. We talked about it a little bit. 922 Crappie Barbecue. Hey, how are you? Creole says the texture is similar to gar. It's good eating, but leftovers gets real greasy.
Yeah, I don't need any of that.
Hey, there's Freddy's Outdoors Adventures. What's going on, Freddy? How you doing? Missing that's catfishing. What's going on?
Yeah, that's Josh sitting here as the rabbit police. Here will smoke you.
Keith says, don't mean, wait, don't I mean, don't even try anything in South Carolina. That's illegal. The rabbit police here will smoke you. Yeah, they're pretty bad around these parts too. They kind of have to be because I'm in such a densely populated area. It's kind of understandable. What did Josh say? Sorry about that, Josh.
Where'd he go? There he is. He says, totally off topic, but if you live in the Midwest, be aware of the weather tomorrow. The possibility of major tornado outbreaks is definitely there. That's a fact, and we're having thunderstorms right now. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not, but we got thunder and lightning going on as we speak. So if something happens, uh, look at that comment he made. Drums are good, but spoonbill are delicacy. The man has no taste buds, zero. But we do have thunderstorms going on, and it's going to be rough around the Midwest tomorrow. So anybody that's out and about, be careful for sure.
See, Luke thinks drum is so good.
That's maybe he shouldn't think so much.
And there's James Dockery agreeing with him.
He's just a dummy.
Who's a dummy?
James.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say it all in one sentence so I could edit it out. Nefarious.
Nope.
Lance McCougai says drum are good eating. I'd keep the smaller ones.
Yeah, I don't keep none.
And there's the birthday boy says drum are good, but spoonbill are a delicacy.
Boy, don't he ain't taste nothing. He has no taste, but he knows what shrimp are all about. I promise you that. I've seen him do some damage.
I plan on doing some damage to some shrimp this weekend, Lyle. I'll send you pictures.
Just for that, I'm cooking drum in my red gravy live one day. Oh my God. Gasper goo it is.
I've never had it, so this summer we are going to try it.
Enjoy. You can. I tell you, the best time to do that would be catch one up in Mendota, and we'll film you and get the look on your face when you take that first bite of that nasty sucker.
I'll film it. We will talk.
Christina made me peanut butter and chocolate covered cheesecake for my birthday. Dude, that sounds pretty good.
Don't tell Chad; he'll knock you over to get that cake.
Uh, he just Chad puts peanut butter on his vanilla ice cream.
Yes, he does.
I've watched him do it a couple of times. I just can't
Yeah,
understand it.
he sent us pictures more than a few times.
Yeah, recently, in fact. Oh, James. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
I want to see. I want to see Creole make drum look like a shrimp because that's how Lyle's going to come down there to eat.
I like shrimp. I do. So when's your next fishing trip?
As soon as this weather breaks. Hey, Adventures with Robin C has been a member for 5 months. Everyone, please be safe on the water.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and thank you for supporting the channel. I got to check the weather, Lyle. I was just looking at it. It's going to rain until Sunday, and then Sunday I got some stuff to do. So next week it is. Next week it's supposed to rain like almost all week too. So
Wow.
I'm turning into a fair weather fisherman. I don't like fish. I didn't like working in the rain. I don't like fishing in the rain.
Yeah, I'm not a big rain type person.
Yeah,
Uh,
if I don't like earning money in the rain, I don't like spending money in the rain.
yeah, if I the only time that I ever fished in the rain, I mean, ain't a downpour, uh, is when we spent a bunch of money going somewhere for a tournament. Other than that,
Hmm.
and then I was tempted to stay in a motel most of the time.
Yeah, I've been known to fish under bridges in the rain when it happens. Hey, there's muddy water bait and tackle.
Glad to have them in chat tonight.
He says they fight for spoonbill around here, highly sought after.
They can
Yeah,
have them
they're
all.
definitely got a lot of fans.
Yeah, they are, and around here they have a lot of spoonbill tournaments. Now this is kind of off of the panfish topic, but we have like a 30 or 45. I'm not sure if it's 30 or 45 day spoonbill
Season.
season, which is in, whatever it is in now, and they have tournaments every weekend, several of them, and some actually through the week. But I have a friend of mine that comes down from North Missouri, and they have a camp, or a couple of them, in fact, and they stay the whole season and fish tournaments. And if there's not a tournament, they just fish every day. They like catching them, and I feel like they probably force themselves to eat them, but maybe they do like them. I don't know, but they catch a lot of them, and they win a lot of tournaments. They really do, and some big tournaments. But they've been doing it a long time, and they
Do
highly love it.
do people CPR fish for them?
I don't know how you could once you rip the guts out of them with one of the 10-aught
Well,
treble.
that's well. If you get
You got to
yeah,
throw
you
them
got to
back if they're not the certain
Lance. You
whatever.
got to throw them back. I don't see why any other one would. If you
That's like blue cats. If you and there's a lot of blue cats and flatheads that get snagged during snagging season, and you got to throw them back, whether they're going to live or not. And that to me is one of the most wrong things that could ever happen when you stick that hook in them and half their guts are hanging out when you pull them in a boat. That fish is never going to live. There's no reason to throw that back. You should be made to harvest that fish, but I don't make the rules.
well, I mean, I guess I'm guessing here. I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing if they didn't make people do that, it happens less often than not.
They target them.
People would target them that way, and they would just rip them up and say, "Hey, it was it.
Yep,
It was
that's
exact."
exactly right. And
That's
they'd
what
be
they're.
catching early flatheads that way instead of the legal way, which is how that guy in Iowa does it. But
Mhm.
whatever. But like I say, you got to throw them back, and I just find that strange. But I think that's a lot of it. They don't want you targeting them.
Yeah, I mean it's easier to make
There's
them look like you messed them up than not. So
That's right. There's the big ticket right there. They fish for their eggs, and the eggs is where the majority of this got started because they have big rows in them, and that's some of the best caviar there is.
do they have? You mean like large eggs,
I don't think there's
or
much
just a lot
large.
of them,
There's a
or just
lot
like
of them.
just a lot of them? Yeah,
A
because I always
lot of them.
the times I've seen them, I thought they were really fine, almost right,
Yeah, they're pretty small.
pretty small.
Well,
Okay.
the ones I've seen was. I'm not an expert on that field, but um, I know, like I say, I see them up here where people cut the roe out of them and just left the whole fish lay there, and they don't get caught, so they continually do it.
Hmm.
But you can't put an agent at every boat ramp to make sure people are doing things correctly. You just can't. It's not feasible to do
Can't
that.
afford it.
No, no. And even though Missouri is in a lot better shape than Illinois, Illinois has commercial fishermen on a honor system, so they just send in what they want the state to hear they caught and kept because they don't have enough agents. Where Missouri, they keep track of things a little bit better, and well, they're just more responsible.
Yeah, no comment on that. I do want to. Did I say thank you to Crappie Day Fish On for being a member for 2 months? We appreciate you, my friend. I think I might have, but I want to make sure I didn't miss it.
I don't think you did, but you have now.
Uh-oh, Joe. Joe says, Mark, I found that you have a voice doppelganger. I will tell you later. That guy fooled me. I thought it was you.
Wow.
Cool. I better get my voice copyrighted.
Yeah, be a great idea.
You ever try like crappie eggs?
No, I had bass eggs once.
You had what?
Bass eggs.
Bass eggs? Because I have seen people fry them up. I think I might have to try that this year.
I think anything like that would be good. Um, in my opinion, an egg is a lot better than a chicken. Um, but I'm not a chicken fan. I can eat it. I just prefer not to. I mean, why would you eat a chicken when you could have a steak or even hamburger?
The difference between $22 a pound and $8 a
Yeah,
pound, I
boy, no
guess.
kidding. But yeah, I think that any egg out of any fish would probably be edible. I don't know, but I
I've
have
had smelt roll. I've had salmon roll. I've had when I was a young man, when we were in Russia on vacation, I had some caviar there. I don't remember that as much though, but and it wasn't memorable. I mean, smelt roll and wasabi's pretty good.
yeah. Josh says if I'm eating eggs, it better come out of a bird. Hmm.
Look at Dockery. Dockery says, "Was it RuPaul?" I have thought this. Oh, Dockery.
Gar eggs are toxic to humans. Okay.
Good to know. If I'm eating an egg, it better have come out of a bird.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
There's Danny Stone. He says, I've pretty much uh I've eaten pretty much every kind of fish egg except gar. I've heard they are toxic, but I don't know. Well, don't try it, Danny.
Yeah. Why take the risk? We should have asked that for last week's guest. Cole could have probably told us.
That was a good show. I enjoyed talking to him.
He was
We got
outstanding.
we got to have him definitely back. I got a couple ideas for a show for us with him.
Yeah, he's. I've been in touch with him since the show, and he had a great time, and we're already lining up the next one with him. So that ought to be great.
Dockery, you're absolutely
Why
right.
would anybody tell him that?
I don't know. I think that was the second slam to me.
No, it's he said that you don't even want the meat touching the meat on the gar. It's all bad. Well, it's all bad anyhow.
No, I've heard people enjoy those gar. They make like gar balls out of them.
Dog balls, yeah. I'm not eating them.
Sounds like something that. Never mind.
Dockery would definitely eat. Oh, oh,
Here we go.
oh. No more pain pills for me.
Mm. Look, Matt says gar balls are delicious.
He, I don't think Matt eats about everything too. You know, he lives down there in Arkansas, and the further south you go, the more stuff like that is accepted. I believe. You get
You
down
know,
where Creole's at, they don't throw nothing away. They eat it all.
my wife used to work for Snap-on Tools, and they had uh, a. She used to have to go down to Arkansas for work, one of the facilities down there, and they used to tell her if it don't eat them, they eat it down there. And if they had a rock hunting season, they'd buy tags.
Wow.
Josh says gar, if cooked properly, taste and texture is a lot like gator.
Yeah, I never have had any of that either. So
Alligator gar is amazing. Favorite fish of all time.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong with him. He's been around Dockery too much. He just started identifying as a Cajun.
You can identify as anything these days.
Oh man.
And Creel says our alligator gar spent some time in salt water. Tastes very different than the kind y'all know.
Huh. Well, that kind of makes sense, but I don't know if it'd be better or worse.
So what you got planned for the weekend, Lyle? You going to get reined in?
Um, Cindy's mother is having her 90th birthday
God
this
bless her.
weekend, and they're having a big get together up there. Um, but the way my back's feeling, I'm going to stay home. Cindy and our daughter are going to go up there and be a part of the celebration. And I'm going to sit here and rest my back and try to get a little work done. We'll see how that works.
You got rods in the works. I know
Yeah,
you're
I
backlogged.
went out and worked 2 hours yesterday morning because I felt pretty good when I got up and um, come in and took a pain pill and laid down, slept for 5 hours. That's why I hate to take them pain pills because that's all I do is sleep if I take them. But
I like that. I could use some sleep.
oh man,
Let me
just
get the name of those when the show's over, and I'll make a few calls to my doctor, see what he can do for me.
I've been sitting here the last 2 days with this heat pad on my back, and that helps a little bit. But I can stay awake and kind of function that way. It's really been a rough deal, but they're going to get me into that guy that stabs me and burns the nerves into, and that'll help for a while again. I just got to get in the scene.
I think that
I'm working on it, James.
Joe Ziegler says, Creel, we used to swim in a river here. We hooked a gar as long as the boat, wide across as the back of the boat. I never swam in that river again. Josh says snake is delicious. They're bonding over there. It's some
I
sort of
don't understand.
backwoods bonding going on in chat.
Chiropractor won't touch me, uh, Josh. They won't. They can take one look at an X-ray and they send me on packing. They won't touch me. New Iberia.
Didn't care. Where is New Iberia?
I don't know. I know where Iberia is, but not New Iberia.
Eric says my baby's from Abbeville, Louisiana, about 18 miles south of Lafayette, Louisiana. If it's caught and legal, it comes home to eat.
There you go.
It's around Easter, isn't it? Crawfish season.
I didn't
Or
know
am I?
they had a season.
Oh yeah, they do. Well, that's when they're in season. That means that the rice fields are to get ready to grow the rice, so they harvest all the bugs out of them. And now we got medical advice from Matt says, make sure they burn the right nerve. They burn nerves in my neck and they hit the wrong one and they hit the wrong nerve, jumped off the bed nearly. Left side of my head is numb and still tender.
Wow. I know when they do that, they want you just before you're comatose. Um, that way they can see your reaction when they stab them things, and then they put it in two places and they burn it between those two spots. But it'll eventually grow back together. And when we're in the middle of crawfish season now, awesome. But in the meantime, while it's growing back together, um, it feels really good, and you feel like Superman. You can do stuff that you couldn't do for last how many ever years, and it's awesome. But it only lasts so long. Now the guy in Columbia used to do that for me the last time. He done lasted 3 years, but he's the only person that ever got it to last so long. Good evening, Bob. Glad to see you in chat.
Good evening, Bob. How you doing?
But yeah, it's that's about the knowledge I have on medical field right there.
Yeah, I don't claim to be a doctor just to hate them all. How did I say that?
I could. They won't let me write scripts, but I can give advice.
James Dockery says, Creole, shut your mouth right now. We're about 2 months out, and it's not fair.
That's for crawdads. I guess James picks them
He's
up
got a
out of the pond.
he's got a pond full of them, I believe.
That's cool.
Over on the Dockery Bayou.
I've been to his house. There's no bayou around up there.
No? Oh, my bad.
We was talking
He's,
about this the other night. James is
he's eating Gaspargoo. He's got
he'll eat a
crawfish.
Casper. Yeah, he likes a silver carp. But you can look out James's front door, and I'll bet you can see. He said the other day 30 or 40 miles. I'll bet you can. You can see a long way down that valley. It's a pretty cool sight.
Eric says we have a runner. He calls himself that goes down to the Gulf every week and brings back all kinds of seafood.
That's cool. Um, Matt says that he's had crawdads the last 2 weekends. Very nice.
I had steak last weekend.
I don't know what I had. I don't remember that far back. It's,
I haven't had crawfish in a long time.
I only had it once, and I really did like it. It was fun. I don't know where that video's at of that girl teaching me how to do that. Her name was Dawn. She's crazy as a bedbug, but we had a blast eating them things, and there was 2 or 3 videos floating around her telling me how to do it because I'd never seen it before, and it was cold that year. We was freezing to death. They had 3 cookers going out on the back porch of that cottage down at Wheeler Lake, and man, they cooked them up and throwed paper down on that table, and we went to town on the bad boys. I think Luke was ended up being down there that year. Um, Luke and the Northwood crew was down there, and a bunch of us ended up in that cabin. All we had a great time. That was a long time ago. Hello, Kenneth.
What's up, Kenneth? How you doing, bud?
Oh, Josh had he grilled steak and shrimp. Nice. Should have went to his house.
Doctor had beam for dinner. I kind of thought that might be it.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. What else we got going, Mark?
Nothing. I'm looking forward to fishing this year. I can't wait for these ponds to start being a little more productive as far as the panfish goes. I'm looking forward to the tournament that's coming up on April 30th. That's round one of the Panfish Nation Championship. That's going to happen on my channel. If you guys want to get registered, we still got a couple more openings. Once we get over the openings, we're going to go to the Mike Green Wheel to beat the rest of the winners. We got the rules posted up on Panfish Nation. The dates up there as well, I believe. And also, if you want to get in for round one, just contact me at 1v1@catfishandcrappie.com, and I'll get you on the list. That'll be cool to do. Also, Monday night, I'm having Kenneth and Hogleg on my show as guests.
Oh, that ought to make for a great show.
Yeah, that'll be a good show. They're on every night. They work hard. They got a pretty big audience. They know they put a lot of hours in. So I figure we can definitely. They're going to be a couple of great people to have on the show. We got a lot to talk about, so I'm looking forward to that.
It'll be fun.
Also, I hear.
Go ahead.
Also, I hear that isn't Daryl having the gathering in Tennessee, right?
Yep, April 15th, and let's see, April 15th, and they're having some kind of a tournament down there where you can fish from a boat or a dock or kayaks, bank, whatever.
Yeah, they're giving up. I believe he was telling me a $700 purse for the biggest fish, I believe. I was going to try and make it down there. I can't make it, so he tried to sweet talk me into coming down there by telling me about that, and I told him I'd love to come down there and take everybody's money, but I just can't make it. So it's April 15th down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Contact Daryl for details. I'm sure he's got them listed on Trophy Seekers Outdoors channel, Facebook page. Go check it out over there.
Yippers.
Other than that, we're going to move forward with the Panfish Nation Championship Tournament. Basically, what happens if you don't get in the top two positions for the first round, you got a choice. You can go on to the second round and try your hand at it again. If you can win that one, you'll get sent to the final round, which is going to be here on Panfish Nation channel. The first 4 rounds, or the qualifying rounds, I should call them, are going to be on my channel, Josh's channel, Chad's channel, and son of Jim's Beam, James Dockery channel.
And everybody can enter in this, and if you don't qualify in Mark's tournaments, you can keep getting on every one of them, and every time that there's more than the limit of what we can have on the screen, we will go to the Greenwell wheel. So that way that you have, if you don't qualify in one, you can just keep entering, and maybe you can make it happen.
Carol says, I happen to be lactose intolerant, so spicy ice cream would cause a ton of intestinal problems. Interesting problems. Good to know.
Interesting.
So, do we send Creole pictures of ice cream every time we eat it?
I think Chad will.
That's right, Josh. It's 2023. Intolerance is wrong in every form.
I'm not so sure of that. Not so sure of it. Yes, it will be fun, James.
It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it should be a lot of fish caught.
After I host the second one, I'm going to get in on one of the other ones down the road.
Yeah. After you
Anyone that
host,
James isn't fishing in, because I ain't going up against him.
you did once.
That was enough. Actually, twice. That was twice enough.
It'll be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of fish caught, and only crappie and bluegill count. Or sunfish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there'll be a lot of them caught, and we had a sample of what could happen watching James Dockery fish a couple of times, and Josh had a big day on one of the tournaments last year where he caught the fire out of bluegill on a lake over by him. So yeah, there's some players that's going to be in this, and uh, the key to this is once you fish one body of water, you cannot go back to that body of water to qualify or the main tournament. You have to go to a different body of water, which is what separates the fishermen from the fishermen a lot of times. Because let's face it, there's some guys online that fish and they only fish one or two places every time they go. They never expand their place to go. I think of one right offhand that goes to one river system out in North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever it's at, and that's the only place he fishes. He don't go nowhere else, and most of the time he don't catch nothing there. Another one or two that goes to different areas and does the same thing, but they make all their videos and all their live stuff from one spot, maybe two, and they don't go nowhere else. And that's not being a fisherman. That's just going out there and catching fish.
James Dockery, I like the way you think. I was thinking the same thing.
What?
Creel says, Dockery, I still owe you a 1v1. James Dockery says, Creel, yes, you do. And then James says, drum or gar? I was thinking silver cats.
Well, Creole's got a pretty good bluegill pond down there by him too.
That's private water. That's a private pond.
They have to discuss that on their own.
Oh, James got plenty of private ponds too to access. So
Yes, he does. And I've seen what comes out of them too. So yeah, that would be interesting for sure. You have to keep it fun. No, you do not.
what is James Dockery ever about fun?
Well, how can he be that way with Creole and not the rest of us?
I don't know. He must like Creo and not us.
Yeah, I guess. Public sign. I was thinking something else, but I'll let that go.
You can tell me later.
Yeah. Heavy thunderstorms. I just had a thing flash up at the bottom of my monitor. Speaking of monitors, my monitor's going out. It's getting really dull and
Time to
bright.
get that big old curved 58-incher, Lyle.
I'd
Get
love
the
to
credit
have one of
card. I'll
those.
help you buy it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, but I'm going to have to pass it this time. Uh, but yeah, the little light at the bottom of it that's always bright yellow. Mine's gray now, and so's my screen, kind of. But I have another monitor I'll put up here till I can.
Don't be lifting it until you feel better.
What's that?
Don't be lifting that yourself. Have somebody
Oh,
come
it's
give you
no
a hand.
weight nothing. These are real small. They're only like 22 inches or something. Not very big. I've got one more.
Creel, you must hide it well.
Yeah. For sure.
Creel says, Doctor and I think alike, which is terrifying.
It is. It's scary. It is scary. I seen Dave Lehman had a video out today where he received a rod that I sent him that
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
we worked out a deal on. I'm glad he likes it. I can't believe it took that long to get there. It was like 10 days or more through the post office getting to him. I don't remember what day I sent it, but it was the beginning of last week sometime. and he just got it today.
And he isn't even all that far from you.
No, he's out in Kansas. I sent another one to another
Well,
guy.
you guys both live in the backwoods. They got to put it on a horse
Well,
and buggy to
here's the thing
get it
where
out
I
the
sent it.
woods.
It was the 23rd. So I guess 7 days. 23rd. I sent one to a guy in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and one to Dave. It took 7 days to get there. That to Kingman, Kansas. That's not that far across the line. I mean, how about Wichita?
I got something directly from China in 5 days.
You see what I mean? This, I think, what happens a lot of time when I ship stuff and it leaves Buffalo and it goes to Springfield. And I think a lot of times they just leave it sit down there 2 or 3 days before they send it out because it's a big hub and they got a bunch of crap going through there. And I think they just leave it set a lot of times.
Either that or some postman is lazy and leaves it in their truck. They don't want to walk it to the front door. That happens a lot around here.
Well, yeah, it probably is. I got a real good post lady. She get out in the rain and come up the door if I need stuff picked up or whatever. But I'm sure they're all not like that. No, nothing else is. Just saying bad things. James, suck it up, bud. You can dish it out. You can take it. And believe me, he can dish it out.
Yeah, I didn't highlight Creole's comment because I'm not quite sure what it means.
Okay. I didn't see it, so probably better off I didn't. Yeah, he's whining about it. Oh, man. Too bad. We had a great show the other night on Catfish Weekly talking about industry standards, Mark. And I've mentioned this to you. And I've got some hooks sent to me in the last couple of 3 days and from different places. Some of them the same manufacturer and some of them not. And they're all different sizes.
That's so true. That's what keeps me from. I'm always afraid to buy like new hooks online because
If you can't see them and touch them, you're gambling, buddy.
no, that ain't it. I just need to know how big they are.
Yeah,
If,
that's what I'm
they
saying.
don't show them like on a rule, on a measuring tape or a ruler, I got no idea.
Yep.
I ordered some Trocar hooks with the most sharpest,
Oh, they
probably
are.
the strongest hooks, but a 7/0's probably the size of like a 4/0 on an Eagle Claw, the regular ones. It's ridiculous.
And those are made in the United States. You know what I mean? They couldn't
I
give
guess
a standard to go by.
I guess it all depends on the game you're chasing. That's the only thing I can think of. Either that or they're all just whacked in the head.
Yeah.
Someone's got to come up with a set of standards for that. So,
Well, I've recently, since that show, I've been looking online for panfish hooks for the comparison there. I have determined you're not going to get anything reasonably close in the catfish size hooks to go by. Okay,
mhm.
I've already given up on that. So now I'm going to the panfish size hooks for comparison, so I can say okay for. And I posted a link to Wanakoa's
I saw
videos
that. Uh-huh.
that shows hook size, recommended hook size for bluegill and red ears and all kinds of panfish. And if you haven't checked that out, it's on Panfish Nation's public um, Facebook page. And I'm gonna be getting some of those, so we can compare them to see if they're any closer. They got to be closer. They're that much smaller.
Yeah, I haven't come across a big size discrepancy with Aberdeen hooks, to be honest with you. But then again, I only buy like two different brands,
Right.
so that's all that's available to me. It's you're hard pressed to get something else. I know that what is it, James Arwood, that it sells the
Hooker's
um,
terminal tackle. Yeah.
Hooker's Terminal Tackle. I know he's got some some panfish hooks. I forget what they're called. But I've never, I've got a ton of them. They're easy to get around here. So
Yeah.
if I'm not getting Eagle Claws from Walmart, I'm over at Farm and Fleet, and then I'm getting the Pro V's that I like to use over there. And I
Pro
stick with a
V's.
4 and a 6. I sent you a couple of
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
those hooks.
I've got some of those, and those are really good hooks. I know that Mustad makes some really good small hooks. So does VMC.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't found them around here, but I haven't been to Bass Pro Shop. I'm sure that they probably got them. They've got everything down there, but except catfish stuff. Big store is they don't have that much catfish stuff in the big store.
Well, you want to open up a Pandora's box? Let's start talking about fly tying hooks. Do you know how long it took me to find some scud hooks that'll work for those? I actually caught a fish on that today, but we'll talk
Did
about
you
that later.
good?
Yeah, those larva flies that I did.
Mm-hmm.
It took. I had to message Kim Burnett, tell me where to get them and what I was exactly looking for. So thank you, and shout out to Kim Burnett. Got me a crappie stopper head. I know he's got a few left for sale. I bought this from him last week, so I kind of like it. Nice one.
Heck yeah, it looks good.
It's one of my top 5 hats. I'll definitely say that.
Wow,
The other
that's
4 are
pretty
mine.
cool. But Kim would know where to get them. I am 20 miles or 25 miles from the Bennett Spring Hatchery, where there's got all kinds of fly shops and
Mm-hmm.
all that BS over here. I could drive over anytime I want to. I just don't want to. You know what I mean?
We got a bunch of like really high end fly shops too here in the city. I found out, and I ain't going into the city for that.
Well,
I'd read,
we have a good one in Springfield.
yeah.
There's a really good fly shop down there, and they're very helpful and knowledgeable. But they're down the road from Bass Pro, so unless you really want to go there, you don't want to fight the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just horrendous, and normally I don't have to. So,
Well, our Cabela's here in Hoffman Estates has a huge fly tying section. I mean, big. It's like a whole quarter of the fishing department. The fishing department's pretty big to begin with, so
that's awesome. And but like I say, it's hard for me to shop for anything with Bass Pro being so close, and I can go down there anytime I want to. But my God, it's like walking through a zoo. Pushing and shoving, and people getting mad, and I don't take that real well. So unless I just have to go down there, I just pretty much don't.
Murillo Family Fishing says any size trocar is a good hook in my book. What size do you think you need, Mark? I'm looking at like a legitimate, at least an 8-aught, maybe a 10-aught. I would use them for flathead. I'm not going to spend that kind of money for channel cats. Anything else works pretty good for channel cats. So,
Well, them trocars are probably the strongest, sharpest hook I've ever used, with the exception of the Gamakatsu Big Rivers.
There's a Mustad's got some catfish hooks. That are like 3 of them for like $20. They're ridiculous. I ain't never bought them. I don't plan on buying them. I don't have Chad Fields money. But I just figured there'd be a mention. They claim they're pretty high end stuff and they're as strong as they get. They're not made out of wire. They're made out of like triangulated steel.
Yeah, yeah, they're very good.
They got the surgical points and they're chemically sharpened, all that good stuff.
I've got to find a video that shows how they chemically sharpen hooks. I got to see how that's done. I understand that it works because a high percentage of hooks now are sharpened that way. Most of them, I believe. But I just trying to figure out how chemically sharpening how that actually plays out.
Works. How do they sharpen a hook? With
I know I sent you a message the other day on some hooks that I had got.
Mm-hmm.
And the first 2 or 3 I picked up was so dull I had to get a file out and sharpen them. Which reminds me, anybody that sharpens hooks, I'm not real big on sharpening hooks, but you can go to Walmart and you can pick up this little set right here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can sharpen any size hook you want to. I buy these because I hand file guides when I'm building fishing rods. Okay. And I start out with a big file and then I take the burrs off with these little files. That's the reason I have them. But I got those in the other day, and after I got through that first two or three, the rest of them was okay. But I go through every one now because I got that one that was dull. So I'll check every hook in that package, and several packages from now on
Mhm.
probably to make
Yeah,
sure, because I don't want to miss any fish.
I have. I think it's a layman hook sharpener. It kind of looks like a almost like a pocket knife, kind of. You open it up, and there's a sharpening rod in there with a groove in it.
Right.
And I keep that in my tackle bag every time I throw a catfish hook on. I always check it if it's sharp. If not, zip zip twice, three times, and it's good to go.
Well, a lot of pardon me, a lot of people say that don't stick your fingers with your hooks. You don't need to tell if they're sharp or not. I just run it across my thumbnail.
Yeah,
If it'll
fingernail.
grab your nail, it's probably
Hmm.
okay. But if it doesn't, you probably need to either get a new hook or to sharpen them up. And there's a lot of hook sharpeners, and I've showed everybody this a dozen times, but this little tool right here that I've got, it has this sharpener right here on it, and I have yet to find a hook that it wouldn't sharpen, big or small. It
Give you the
sharpens them
sample here.
all. It's
Yeah,
got to
that's all
be,
it takes. Hooks are
yeah,
easy, and if you need
yeah,
to run that more than two, three times across a hook, then that hooks.
yeah. It's got a little deal on it where you can tie nail knots on hooks and
Hmm.
stuff. Couple bucks. It wasn't very expensive. It's got a place where you put it on a lanyard around your neck or on your whistle lanyard to, for your boat. That you have to have a whistle in your boat if you don't have a horn or something. Which most boats' horns are not loud enough that you need a whistle anyhow. But get you something if you're worried about it, and if you're not, like I say, most of the time, like with me, I just I'll just throw a new one on. I don't want to take my time out from fishing to sharpen a hook and take a chance on me. No, I can't sharpen a knife. What? Why would I think that I could sharpen a hook? But I can sharpen a hook.
I could probably sharpen a knife better than a lot of other things I can do.
Yeah, that's right. These are number 7 size hooks, my friend.
Those are tiny. Oh, those are number sevens,
Number sevens. Yeah,
not seven aught.
who made that mistake?
Oops, I've done that.
This many of them. That big a mistake?
Oh boy. Actually,
Yeah,
I've been Amazon made a mistake. I saw some 12-aughts. They were listed as 12-aught mustads. I got them home. They were size 22s circle hooks.
wow, size 22s.
I got them somewhere in the garage. I'll have to pull them out and show them to you.
Yeah, them are little bitty. Little bitty. Great show tonight, Mark.
I had fun chatting with you.
I
I'm
don't.
sorry you're not feeling well, Lyle. Obviously, everybody's worried about you, and
It'll
we're
get
hoping you
better.
feel better.
It always does. It just takes some time. This time it's took a little longer than I like, but we'll be back next Thursday night, right after the bait shop, with some entertaining facts, and we'll try to have a show on here and talk about something besides hurting. Creel said we had fun in chat too.
I saw that. You guys are distracting us.
Keeping my eyes back and forth from what I need to be doing.
Thanks,
But
Joe
that's
Buck.
okay. Thank you, buddy.
All right, make sure you guys all wish Josh a happy birthday. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Happy birthday, Josh. Glad to see you. Monday night, Catfish Weekly will be on at 7 o'clock and followed by Mark and the Catfish and Crappie podcast. And then we'll be back right after the bait shop next Thursday night. So everybody stay out of trouble. And if you're in bad weather, be careful.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
See you soon.
God bless everybody.